Hello, welcome to an overview of the AZToolkit, which is an online knowledge hub of the early childhood industry. This is the beginning of shared services, and it is designed to help administrators save time and money and improve quality in their programs. My name is Linda Pauley. I am the business administrator for the Arizona Association for the Education of Young Children. I'm also the director of an early childhood program in South Chandler, and I'm happy to be here with you today. We face many challenges in our industry, from managing our costs and our difficulty with our financing, accountability that we have to the state and to other stakeholders in our businesses. We'd really like to only be focused on child outcomes, but there's so many business practices that take our attention away from that. We actually wear multiple hats. If you're anything like me, this might be what you look like on a daily basis. We are plumbers, we are cooks, we are managers, we paint, we handle ridiculous amount of tasks to try to keep our businesses open and successful. Right now, I'd like to share a brief video with you from a woman that I think is a visionary in our field, and her name is Louise Stoney.
Basically, in order to be successful in achieving high quality early childhood, you have to have business leadership. You got to keep the money coming in the door. You got to do all those tasks for running a good business. And you have to have what we call pedagogical leadership. That's teaching and learning. And you got to be really good at supervising teachers and understanding what children need and understanding what teachers need. Those are often antithetical skills. It's very hard to find a person who's both can sit in front of an Excel spreadsheet and run those numbers and do industry trends and understand what they got to do to keep their bottom line straight, and have the skill set to work with an early childhood teacher or get on the floor with a child. So what shared service does is say you don't have to be expert in both of those things. Do what you love and work as a team with others and share the jobs.
It's very hard for us to be all things to all people all the time, as Louise was just alluding to. The idea of shared services is to build that team and count on others. We don't all have to recreate a wheel every time a new challenge presents itself. So shared services is about working together and pooling our resources. Shared services it helps to think of it as a continuum, and the AZToolkit is the first part of that continuum, the knowledge hub, if you will. And as we scroll down or scroll to the right, we're moving into just from sharing information to networking and maybe sharing staff and sharing some of the burdens that we all carry. AZOIC partnered with CCA for Social Good probably 5 years ago to bring the toolkit to Arizona. It's operating in 35 states now. CCA for Social Good manages the platform and manages the content that is national. And then as each state brings it local, we add the resources that are pertinent to Arizona. So what is and what is not shared services? It is a capacity building strategy. It's a way for us to reallocate resources from admin to classrooms and allows us to focus more on the things that we really care about, which is child outcomes. It is also relevant for all types of childcare providers, whether you have a family-based business in your home, if you're a profit, nonprofit, if you have one site, if you have multiple sites, this is relevant for you. It's not just a way to save money or just a provider network or just a website. It's not a franchise. It's not just a project, and it's not the same in every community. It's different in Arizona than it is in New Mexico, than it is in California. Here's another another insight from Louise Stoney.
Some peace of mind. It's crazy. Being a childcare center director is one of the craziest jobs in the world. I sometimes look at the job description for a director of a small childcare center and I want to cry. How could anybody be expected to do these many jobs, have these many? It's crazy. So what we're basically saying is we have this philosophy, which is every director deserves an administrative team. Every teacher deserves pedagogical leadership, and every child deserves a reflective teacher. There's no way you can do that and be really small. You need a team. So what it does is give you a team. It gives you support. You're not working alone. And it also begins to help make your job make sense. So from my perspective, that's the biggest win for a childcare center director.
So the AZ Toolkit is designed to be part of our administrative team. It has so many resources that can save us time, and it also is wonderful because you can trust the content that's on it. Everything that has legal ramifications has been vetted by lawyers. Everything that has classroom applications has been vetted by early childhood professionals so that you're confident that it is developmentally appropriate practice and good for your school. The biggest surprise is that Arizona is already a little bit further down the shared services continuum. There are alliances in our state that work together in collaboration to make our jobs easier. So now I'd like to take you to the website directly, and I am going to stop presenting this. And registering for the AZ Toolkit is an easy process. To register, click on Register in the upper left-hand corner, enter your profile information, and then scroll down to the bottom to Next Step, choose a subscription. If you have a paid option, you can go in and enter your payment, or if you are a DES contracted or DEHS licensed provider, simply select the DES Toolkit grant and enter the code DES grant, no spaces and all lowercase, to access your free subscription. I will tell you that there are so many resources on this website that it's almost like a fire hose. So I'm going to start by giving you a couple helpful hints. The first one is the search bar. Use it. Put in some keywords. See if you're looking for something specific. Start here and see where it takes you. It's very, very intuitive and will help you save time. Because it's easy to get distracted and then it's easy to get overwhelmed. The other thing I want to show you is at the bottom in the footer, I think on most pages, you can see these reference sheets. So if you're a family child care provider, click here. If you're center-based, click here. And this will show you all of the different buckets of information, if you will. So here in the blue bars, you can see engaging families in the classroom, saving money, and then look at all this content for successful program management. This is by and large where most people spend their time. You can print this out, keep it on your desk, keep it close by, enter your username here. This should be the director's email address for the center, and the password is usually SHARE-AZ, capital S, H-A-R-E, capital A-Z. Through a partnership with Arizona DES, every provider that is licensed or contracted with DES has a scholarship, a subscription through June 30th of 2023, and hopefully they'll be renewing that as well. So a few more tips about navigating. These are the big buckets that we saw on the reference sheet in the blue boxes: engaging families, grants and funding, in the classroom, saving money, and successful program management. So you can always find your content starting with these buckets. This section right here changes every couple weeks to just highlight a new area that you may not have been to before. The featured tools and resources are also chosen based on popularity of what people are looking for. Trending topics might be what in the last couple of weeks people are clicking on most of the time. We do also have a job bank that we'll talk a little bit more about, so you can see all of the people who have posted jobs, and we can click here to see more jobs. Also, if you want to post a job here, it feeds to like 8 different job banks. So you can put it in one place, manage it from the portal, and it could be out on a variety of other fields. So you don't have to go to multiple sites to place your job. There's also some information that we might want to highlight for you to make sure you've heard about these things. There's a video corner that has a few webinars that you can look at. There's more in professional development. And then, of course, we're thanking DES for providing the subscriptions to everybody. And then you can get down here to the popular things that people like to check on. And again, the reference sheets are on the right-hand side. So let's go back up and just take a quick look. Every time you click on one of these items in the horizontal menu bar, you'll see a brief introduction to what you'll find, and then all of the different things that you can find in this section. So when we're engaging families, we can look at admin tools, we can look at child development, child tax credits. This is information that parents are going to care about now as they're getting their taxes ready. There's information about education and environment, the general health, the nutrition and fitness of our children, the safety, and social and emotional development. So from any one of these sections, we can click on this and we can navigate through the left-hand toolbar to find different things that might be of interest to us. So if we were looking for information on cultural responsiveness, we can click on that and then see what resources that are here that can help us develop some multicultural principles for us and for our programs, how that we can show young children that diversity is a strength, how we can help other families that are coming to our country from other places, dual language learners. You can see all the different assessments that are just related to cultural responsiveness. Again, we can get back to where we started by clicking on any of these hyperlinks, or we can move on from engaging families to the grants and funding in the classroom, saving money, or successful program management. So wherever you end up, you can always get back to where you started using any of these hyperlinks that are there. I'd also like to let you know that anything that you would download that would be a template, let's try the family handbook, for example, you could either download the entire family handbook, or maybe you have one already and you're just looking for a new cell phone policy. You can download any of these in English and Spanish. These will all be Microsoft Office products, so they are completely customizable. You can add your own logo, you can change the wording, you can change the font, you can cut and paste it into your handbook. So all of the resources that you can find here can be completely customizable to your practice. I find it so much easier and such a time saver to edit rather than to create. So for any of these items that are down the left-hand toolbar, just know that you can read it, you can trust in it, and then you can adapt it to your own world. Under grants and funding, you'll find anything that might be pertinent to us in the state of Arizona right now, or if there's national grants, see what's happening in the state. In the classroom, we'll have information on various assessment tools, curriculum. Maybe we need to do some updating or helping teachers with the environment rating scales. Both Eckers and Itters are described in here. Great section on executive function, on literacy, physical activities, various teacher resources that again are completely customizable. And this section is really helpful in our time of helping teachers deal with challenging behaviors, and there's just been so many in our post-COVID world with our young children. Saving money has a lot of wonderful tips as well. There are savings programs in here that can help you. I use this a lot for our consumables. There's Discount School Supply, Lakeshore, Kaplan, in addition to maybe you want to use some of the grant funding to increase your or update your playground. There's various savings programs that have been negotiated nationwide, some savings programs that are statewide. So that's the difference between the all savings and the local vendors. Also in the savings program, there's a VIP program that will provide you discounts on maybe personal items. So not just things you can use for your school, but things that you can use for yourself as well. And this actually will take you to a portal, My Savings portal, that will help you set up discounts for not only yourself, but for your entire staff. So what's nice about this is it's a nice little perk for your team that costs you nothing, but saves them money. So it's just a way to show that you care. As you can see, we can just go back and forth, clicking on the hyperlinks. But there's a lot of different areas in here that you can look at to see where you can save money. There's also, through this tool, it'll help you figure out how much money you can save. It's like a little calculator to see if some of the vendors that are in there can save you money, like on the food that you're buying for your school, or maybe your office supplies. So check that out. That's very, very helpful. But by and large, most of us are going to spend most of our time in successful program management, and this section is massive. There's a section here on advocacy and public policy, and you might think this isn't important. I know a lot of us get very myopic on our own centers, but it is important if we're in this field to be advocates for young children in our state. And in this section, you'll find not only different venues where you can use your voice, but also helpful tips about how to do that, and who you should be contacting when there's legislative opportunities to have your voice heard. So you'll want to check in on there periodically. Becoming an HR expert is a massive section as well. Let's take a quick look at it. I will tell you that on the AZ registry, there's a webinar that just deals with this in and of itself. So we won't spend a lot of time here, but I do want to show you how much is here. Compensation and benefits is a huge section. There's payroll scales here so that you can make sure that you are paying your people equitably. It's also completely customizable for you. Not all of us have the same budget we can work with. Here's also a link to the job bank that we talked about earlier from the front page. Under discipline and termination, you'll find resources to help you deal with the more difficult tasks of HR. And again, you want to be careful here. There's a lot of legal ramifications if we do this incorrectly. So using that section will guide you to maintaining your best practices with your staff, but making sure that if you do have problems that you're doing it in a legal way. The employee handbook is very similar to the family handbook. You can download either the entire thing or just specific policies. The employee orientation toolkit is a wonderful, wonderful resource. A lot of times we're so desperate to get people in the classroom, we get through our 1 hour orientation and maybe neglect the 30-day plan, the 90-day plan, or the 1-year plan. And I will tell you, as hard as it is to find people right now, that to make sure that they are integrated into our program and feel connected is more important than ever. So you might want to spend some time here. The HR hotline is a fairly new resource. This is a fee-based system. It's $300 a year, but it's basically having an HR department on call. So whenever you have an issue, you have somebody that you can go to And for $300 a year, that's a pretty good deal. We have a lot of issues around fingerprinting, so there's some helpful hints in here about where to go and how to get it done fastest. I can tell you from personal experience, I tested this and not only had my application and my fingerprints returned quickly, but it was done inside of a week. So check this out. It will help you get new people to the fields in your classrooms faster. And then you can see from the other descriptions various things that might be important to you regarding human resources in your program. Back to successful program management, there's a section here on working with your board. So this is really helpful in helping the board understand their role and their responsibilities. There's some board training in there that can help you as well. I know oftentimes we're so focused on the biggest fire of the day that maybe we don't have opportunities to be strategic in our thinking and think about where do we want to be this time next year or our 5-year plan. But walking through the business and strategic plan section will help us get there as well. If you have needs regarding a new location or insurance, these two sections will help you find people that can help you do that are fair and equitable and hopefully save you some money there. We have an entire section on compliance and quality, so a lot of resources maybe for quality first or DHS licensing that will guide you to increasing your quality and give you the best resources available. I'd like to say COVID wasn't still an issue, but we all know it is. So these coronavirus resources are helpful in just not only maintaining our own COVID policies in our center, but helping communicate to staff and to families. We have a section also on facilities to help us recognize what is required from us from a state perspective on the physical location of our schools and what square footage we have, the number of bathrooms, and all of the different things that pertain to facilities in our programs. Again, you can find a toolkit here that is specific just to family childcare. The forms, policies, and templates, I'll click on that because that is also a massive section. But there are forms related to your board, to your business, to classrooms, to families, to financial, health, HR, safety. And then we move to policies. And again, some of these categories are the same: board, business, classroom, families, health, HR, and safety. And then the templates that are available to you. So again, these are all customizable. Add your logo, change the wording, do whatever you need to do, change the name of the titles if they don't match what is happening with your board. And you can see all of these vast resources that are here. Such a time saver. And then this entire little section on marketing, which we have so many more resources on marketing, and I'll show you that in just a second. So let's scroll all the way back up. I hope you're not getting dizzy. Get back to the top. Go back to successful program management. We have information for Head Start programs. We also have information for military programs and tribal programs. A lot of information on financial management because oftentimes this is not our strong suit. If you are really good with kids, maybe you're not really good with spreadsheets, and this section will help you guide your thinking through profit and loss statements, balance sheets, the relationship between revenue and collections. A lot of different things that will help you keep your program operating in the black. If you'd like information on childcare, have the healthcare tax credit, it's there. If you'd like to get information about being a DES provider, it's here. The marketing program, I told you we would talk about briefly. Here is an entire marketing plan toolkit that will guide you through understanding your business, understanding your competitor's business, help you develop your elevator speech, your 30 seconds about why your program is so good, maybe develop a marketing plan around your budget, and help you make sure that you have all the kids that you can handle. That is a very, very in-depth process. I did it once. It took me about a week to get through it all with my other tasks for the day, but it was so worth the time and effort. Moving back into the rest of the topics under this category, extensive resources about nutrition, health, and safety, various posters that you might need to post in your building, how to reduce risks in your program. I mentioned the military resources earlier, various resources and references for you. A lot of training and professional development is here. How you can manage volunteers, which is tricky all in and of itself. And if you wanted to start or expand your childcare business, you could click on this for more resources. And again, I think I mentioned earlier, there's an entire page just for tribal programs. So that is a down and dirty 30-minute overview of the AZ Toolkit. Keep in mind, the search bar is your friend. Please use it. Also, I'd like to let you know that you can also view this website in any of these languages. So it's meant to be inclusive. I am going to stop sharing this screen. And I'd just like to thank you for joining us for our tour today. I'd also like to thank again AZDES for providing all of us with our subscriptions through June 30th. Also like to mention that we could not have brought this to the state of Arizona without the support of the Virginia G. Piper Charitable Trust. And also like to thank CCA for Social Good for developing such a phenomenal program for the early childhood community in our country. Again, my name is Linda Pauley. This is my contact information. You can always contact me for further information if you're having any trouble. You can also reach out to us at the team at AZAUIC.org or contact my colleague, Dr. Eric Boucher, at his address ebucher@azauic.org. Thank you again for your time. I wish you a great day. And again, feel free to contact us at any time with your questions about AZ Toolkit.